With the Camna studio, as with the welcome with studio guest, we are the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Timothy Kabba. Good morning and welcome to the program. Good morning, Salon.
Good morning, studio, and good morning, the people of Sierra Leone.
Okay, we get the minister where they can talk about foreign affairs and other international related issues then. As we all know, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation are the government ministry where responsible for handling country in foreign relations and diplomacy. And they also can give advice to the president on foreign policy issues them, way for make Salon in good bilateral relationship with other countries them. Some of the issues that the minister they can talk about this morning get to do with Yenga, partial ban and other foreign related matter them. But for start the program, we go through the first question to the minister about the issue get for do with Yenga. Now one will see because a lot of controversy and will be Salon they try to get a headway between neighboring country when Guinea. From that time to now, Mr. Minister, take we listen and view them through waiting at the latest update on the issue get for do Yenga. As we know, Salon gets issue with neighboring country Guinea.
Thank you very much. Yenga is not a new situation, a situation we don't persist for the past 20 years, and both all successive governments don't engage the government of Guinea for find a solution to the problem with the Yenga. Notably this year, on the 28th of April, we see the Guineans then put a warring posture where them being one for come and invade and occupy a village called a certain village where the military been therefore go and put a defense and stop the Guineans. Then during that process, they therefore take 3 volleys of shots where was an indication of aggression, but the military stood its ground, and that was how they were fenced off. That's what therefore pushed them away, and so that led to the temporal closure of the border. However, diplomatic engagements been undergo over and again, and at this time, not only would they continue to engage with them bilaterally, but we don't also take the matter to the different organizations and where Guinea and Sierra Leone be part of, and notably ECOWAS, the African Union, and now we don't, ECOWAS, for example, get a meeting of mediation and security where they come up this week, where Yenga are one of the issues where therefore be discussed. But as of this weekend, we see the 2 countries, security forces and other state apparatus then get for meet in the Yenga territory, which was a successful meeting. The police, the military, ONS, and the local chiefs then across the 2 divides been get for meeting at the Yenga territory. This sort of community engagement also they help for the peace and quietness of the place. But nonetheless, the aggression against Sierra Leone is a violation of international customary law and international law as we know and for B. And so therefore, because diplomacy is the last resort and the first point of call for resolve matters of border dispute between 2 sisterly countries, in this case Sierra Leone and Guinea. So the ECOWAS letter will be right. ECOWAS don't discuss some preliminarily, and they don't get in contact with we say for make we continue to get this sisterly relationship and resolve this matter once and for all. Then they encourage the 2 countries then for go to the International Court of Justice, where the final jurisdiction for arbitrate or for mediate between 2 countries on international border dispute. And so the government of Sierra Leone, through the office of the Attorney General and other stakeholders, then they look into the protocol of the ICJ for able build up. We document them for go to the ICJ and take them to the highest level. This is very important because we don't see say sub-regional, regional and continental efforts. Don't they almost prove for be very much slow and not bringing quick and desired outcome from the impasse between the 2 countries. And when obviously don't this persist, the insecurity they make it cause economic hardship for people in that part of the country, and it's also an aggression on the territorial integrity of a country. And so that is the route we'll therefore take very soon for go to the ICJ. But like I said, the ECOWAS mediation meeting therefore bring this proposal to both the representative of Guinea, because at that level, Guinea, they participate in ECOWAS, for see how we'll get a pathway for where we'll all go. We don't see quite recently Equatorial Guinea and Gabon then going at the ICJ. The ICJ passed a judgment over a certain island or the two countries and they fought for, which went to in favor of Gabon. We see back not long ago Guinea and Cote d'Ivoire. So these are things where normal because of these borders were crafted artificially by our colonial masters. However, I believe so the ICJ go get in final arbitration and mediation where we bring Yenga to. We're very confident Yenga is our territory. Now for we go and go get this international judgment and then we call for decampment. But before we go ICJ and all the legal process in this mediation meeting, so Leone therefore underscore the importance of Guinea decamping, demobilizing in presence na Yenga before we go to the ICJ, because it should not be occupied while we go to the ICJ. It has to be deoccupied and then we go to the ICJ.
So in terms of the ECOWAS mediation, waiting will be the consent of the counterpart of Guinean then?
Well, we certainly talk to the Guineans and the ECOWAS as we regional organization. We, in fact, in the first place, it was through the ECOWAS arrangement of ECOMOG when the Guineans, Dominican, that are Yenga territory. ECOWAS also been on the camp for mediate, and they understand the program, the problem, and then they talk to the Guineans, and the Guineans, like I said, at that security level of ECOWAS, they are not suspended, they are a party and a participant at that mediation. So when we go to Abuja this week, that's one of the things we're going to deliberate. At least the MSC, one of the Mediation and Security Council of ECOWAS, Yenga for conduct that mediation there, and we're very sure that for continue the brotherly relationship between we and them, this can be subjected to final arbitration and mediation to the ICJ. And I'm very confident as a sovereign state Guinea, they will abide by this because they are a party to that treaty.
All right, Mr. Minister, waiting at the status of Salon people, women in that particular entity, we've been left in community them and go other side them.
They are back in their communities. We see, of course, things are very difficult. It's not raining season, and people were not, they're not be able to do effectively than farming because of the the trepidation, the fear where this encampment aggression of the Guinean armed forces being caused. In any case, then people don't go back, and there are various supports. For example, His Excellency the President being there for respond. It's a small community, but the impact is really far-reaching. His Excellency being there for sending humanitarian aid in the form of food items to the folks, and the MP and all other stakeholders are constantly engaging the people. The security forces, like I said, over this weekend, and get a very successful meeting. The ONS, the police, the army, with the Guinean counterparts, them, and that now for restore peace, quietness, and confidence in the existence of the people, and they for make them continue for do the normal day-to-day activities.
All right, this been I talk to the leader for the main opposition, the PC party in Parliament, Honorable Abdul Kagbo. Women present Salon situation at ECOWAS Parliament. But according to it say the Guinean member of Parliament then self me raise concern say nothing gets Yenga. Also the problem they will make up till now then people are not able to understand say na Salon land.
Well, this is why members of Parliament then ECOWAS. I saw that fantastic debate by Honorable Abdul Kagbo when it was a very heated debate, but we know by historical, by every evidence available that now Sierra Leonean territory, it's not a matter of not to think what would they even blink for, and that is why confidently one go before international adjudication for made them come and mediate. And finally, draw that conclusion and get outcome. Say that is a Sierra Leonean territory. You go expect them to defend as much as they can, but the fact of the matter is Yenga Sierra Leonean territory. It is by historical fact. It is by evidential fact.
So in all of this, Yenga issue still unsettled.
Yes, it's persisting, but efforts have been made diplomatically and otherwise for make sure say we get, and legally for make sure say we bring that impasse to a final rest.
So in terms of the negotiation or mediation, waiting Salon expected for do and that of a counterpart Guinean then?
Well, the mediation ECOWAS therefore broached this suggestion to both Guinea and Sierra Leone. ECOWAS incidentally they engaged both countries. We set at bilateral level because we are all a party to the ICJ. We all definitely have to agree. Guinea will have to agree. We'll go to the ICJ and go find mediation and negotiation for that.
All right. If the ICJ finally give a verdict, we favor Salon. Within this term, we'll get for see different at that particular side.
Well, it is the president and the government desire for create economic activities in that place. Because if you look at the border at Makona River, you get Nongoa, which is a very big settlement where they're under the Gegedu prefecture, whereas on the part of Sierra Leone here on the own shore, not just some very small villages that will get far away from Kwendu, which is the main town in that Yenga territory. So we therefore, His Excellency the President don't propose, and the direct say economic activities must be created and intensified in that area there by having trade, sport, we're going to make people in the go there and settle, and by so doing, by those settlements and those activities, we they put a full social, legal and economic claim to the Yenga territory.
So this border or bilateral issue is along get with Guinea. The ICJ and the International Criminal Court of Justice. Now
Court of Justice.
Now the best way or best approach that for solution to this whole matter way, according to you, this issue don't be for far too long.
Yeah. We for me wish we resolve them now or yesterday bilaterally.
Okay.
And also using the multilateral space that we'll get by the sub-regions such as Mana River Union, ECOWAS, or the AU. But it seems in order to produce the immediate and quick effect or where we desire. So we're going to the ICJ, in my consideration, and rightly so, that the highest court of adjudication on matters of this nature. And because it's an international court, the outcome will be abide by Guinea and Sierra Leone.
All right. Before we go for break, Yenga not the only place we are in a boundary between Salon and Guinea. Waiting governments they do for protect we border crossing points them across the country.
We see, for example, in the Konoa axis, we see we don't get new post them way. When I was Minister of Mines, we saw one of the mining companies as part of CSR working with the government through NRA for build border posts then and then vulnerable point here for create human presence and activities. I think what government they try to do now in effect for make sure say we send this strong message of our economic, social and legal right over all them border crossing points that are part of Sierra Leone for create economic activities, increase border vigilance and engage the communities, because also when you get lack of economic activities in a particular area, the people are tempted to go into the other country for engage in trade and business. And when this happens, you find out say people they naturally believe say that territory, even though it's not legally theirs, is theirs. So that is why government they try to use also the strategy of creating economic spots and then place them there, so that people go naturally settle at the border. We go indicate say yes, our presence there is legal and it's ours.
Good morning, Salon. We will bring this edition come to you this morning. Me na Saptiyo Kalon.
And my name Usman Kamara. Still inside the studios, we get the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Timothy Kabba. Before we go for that break, though, you don't explain things that will don't happen as we for solve the Yenga issue. But again, we still get Guinean troop there with the Yenga and people with the another area they still feel threat. Waiting at the message we government get for them people and they ask when they try for solve them.
Yes, and we also get with military presence right in the Yenga territory as well. And of course, we're going to conflict, armed conflict, not to the way to go. We are not going to defend, using arms right now. It will even compound the problem, and we'll continue to engage. We believe, say, this new posture, this new drive to the ICJ will bring a final solution to the problem. It's insecurity for the people. It create a lot of fears, and they affect also the economic activities of the people. So obviously it's worrisome. Government in number one priority now for defend the sovereignty and territorial integrity of a country, and so it is our responsibility to ensure that the people are safe. And despite the presence of the GAF, we believe, say, the people are not under imminent danger, because they cannot, attack the people as some people they agitate, say, oh, we have a military for go into conflict with Guinea. No, Guinea is a sisterly country, despite this Yenga issue, and we therefore continue. I mean, it's a role of government for protect the people them, and as I say, now the instruction is to go to the ICJ, and how quickly that will bring a lasting solution is what we're looking for. And obviously, I mean, it's an embarrassment, it's an aggression, and the government is ready to ensure that we protect that land and make sure, say, our people are safe. This may not persist. It's unfortunate that a good neighbor can be acting, rather this belligerent, rather this aggressive against another country, whereas in fact it is shown in short history, say, they were only invited for serve as a deterrent against the civil conflict the rebels are going to Guinea. So, but we'll continue to, do our best as a government, engaging all stakeholders. Like I said, the weekend meeting was quite encouraging. It's one of the first big meetings that were no hold since after the April 28th. So there is progress even on that local level as we go further international.
All right. As you update we about Yenga, but again, let's just shift to another issue we get for do it. The drug baron just like where plenty people believe say it carry the name of Umar Sheriff. What don't they happen so far? Is still in Atonia?
How would I know? I'm not. I don't know anybody of such nature. I don't want to see anybody of such nature. And of course, I've been received a diplomatic document from the Netherlands where say a certain person that has been convicted in Netherlands is in Sierra Leone. But I'm not security. I don't get access to such a person. I don't know the person, so I may be limited to comment on that because I don't know the person.
Okay, so in terms of this issue between Salone and Guinea on a border issue, this in any way don't serve as a reminder or reason for Lona do more and review some of our policy them way for really protect the area or border crossing points then?
There are policies in place. Like I say,
how strong are they?
Like I say, I mean, the fact say we get them borders here and we are an existing state, that by itself, and there's a constitution, there is a government, there's a population, that by itself now guarantees say we get a sovereignty, and that sovereignty is what we're protecting. Border infractions, border dispute, border claims always they exist when two communities and they side by side. We see all over the world people are fighting for land and all of that. So the policies are there. It's about the adherence to international law and international customary law by we neighbors. And Sierra Leone don't make any effort, nefarious, any effort will get bad intention for claiming any territory in Liberia or Guinea. But unfortunately, this is coming from our neighbor, despite the fact that there are laws where they protect the sovereignty of individual countries. But that is why we're going to these people who are the interpreters of this international law and international customary law for making them come in and give we rights to Yenga.
Okay, so now we don't conclude on Yenga. One other recent issue on the topic of discussion. Also, everybody get a different explanation. And they will get for do with the embassy. Also, we see this BNTM, the embassy in Salone do an announcement, and according to them, in accordance with the presidential proclamation, that President Donald Trump, the ambassador suspend issuance of tourist visas, students, and exchange visitor non-immigrant visa. We get different category them like BFM and J, and according to the statement with them poll this banner to Sierra Leonean citizen them we according to the statement again now with immediate effect, but again there's a certain set of people in the way fall under certain category where then go they also give visa. From this time where these issues come out from the Salone embassy, Nayada, the US embassy, how first of all government take this particular pronouncement from the US embassy in Salone?
It's unfortunate for make your country will be described as a country where in citizens and they go to the United States or any other country based on short-term visas, and these people would go and overstay. It's not good for the image of the country, and also historically in the past, they bring citizens that we get with passport and document them, we overstay or we involve in activities and we illegal, then we don't they ask for bring them people here back. But I think in the past we don't get skepticism, government before now, and now certain people and they will be done, they've not been the way governments and not been on they accept based on interviews at the embassy and all of that, and based on their origins, even though your origin will be defined in a foreign country by the document where they be at. And so when the news came, it's a very unpleasant one, because genuine Sierra Leoneans who would want to go to the United States to do business, students will go and go further their education, and tourists that will go and go don't plan for go to the United States, they are all affected by this. But like you said, it's a presidential proclamation of the United States. It's a sovereign nation, and get their own rules and laws them, and we got to respect that. However, there are many categories of visas that continue to be where the U.S. Embassy continue to give visa. For example, journalist visa, then still they give. And I believe that these areas that wouldn't target for suspend, these are the areas where people they use them visa really for go overstay, and it's not good for the image of our country.
So aside using visa for go overstay, which are the other reason you wanna try for know why this decision affects Salone directly? Any other reason there?
Well, they stated two reasons. The other is, like I say, a refusal forget we nationals and where they deport from the United States. But I must tell you that by 2 years memory of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, every identified Sierra Leonean where gets Sierra Leonean document where they on the list of deportation, we have processed. We don't issue etc to them for me them go come back in our country, because this is where they belong. This is our country, and if they are in another man's land and they are undocumented, and the people then desire for make them left their country for because of insecurity and other issues, now we write for receive with citizens then, and we've been doing that consistently.
All right. After the election, the United States been concerned about Yuki where they allege say may happen. We are in they may talk about some people where they think say contribute to that particular issue. They other than them people are not able for no.
Say who are them?
You get particular people where they may raise concerns.
There's no ban on anyone.
Or no government official.
No, there's no ban on any government official. Every government official they go to the United States on a valid visa go come. There is no such ban by the United States of America or on any member of the government of Sierra Leone.
All right. Again, people we can travel with government on different activity like the UN and other things. Them people believe say during them process then they can insert some people their name. We can go now they come again, and this now some of the people we don't lead we to this partial ban.
Well, I look. We been get conflicts in this country, and a lot of people been go back in the United States, and after that some people then come get with document during the conflict in Guinea, in Nigeria, where then they take advantage of the TPS, the temporal protection status, where the United States been give to people affected by civil conflict like the one we happen at Salome. Many of the people now when they repatriate, these are people who don't stay in the United States for over 20-25 years, we been go under their status, then they will not be able to fully regularize their status. Some people, in fact, are deported to Sierra Leone. We bear Sierra Leonean documents. We go with Sierra Leonean documents. We naturally not to Sierra Leoneans. So we see this number. They come in. Now, they come on the Sierra Leone delegation list where they go. It's not a perfect system. And people always take advantage of these privileges. And then they abuse them privileges here. But efforts have been made. Tremendously for ensure say we not abuse the integrity of the consular section. Okay. It's Minister of Foreign Affairs under me watch. I make every effort with my team for ensure say we not allow people then for abuse this particular. In the past it was almost like an exodus, but measures have been put in place for ensure say we keep that integrity of the consular section, because it is that integrity where they give the leverage, where they give the support and believe so when Sierra Leoneans and get them visa, then we'll go for the purposes for which they get them and come back.
Alright, inside the program, you don't hear about update. We, the minister don't talk, but we get for do with a lot of issues on Yenga and other one them. Still inside the studios. Sir?
Yes. So, Mr. Minister, let me conclude quickly on this U.S. Partial ban. The proclamation also states about, say, the proclamation does not revoke existing visas. If you already have a valid visa and use it lawfully, you may still travel to the United States and apply for entry at the immigration. You can throw more highlight on this, let people get a clear picture.
Absolutely. I mean, they suspend for issue these categories of visa, but they no invalidate the holders of the visa the way people already getting them passport. Like you paraphrase the proclamation, they say holders and we get this visa then can still go to the United States lawfully and accept that the United States Embassy in Sierra Leone not the issue, or anywhere in the world not the issue visa to Sierra Leoneans where they apply for this category of visa. But this also is subjected to review every 90 days, and we don't take remedial measures. Speaking with the U.S. ambassador, there are certain things that we work towards as a means of remedying the situation, and of course, like I say, quite recently we have been very much compliant in terms of receiving identified Sierra Leoneans that are not documented in the United States. We're on the list of deportation because it's the right thing to do. But when it comes to the overstaying of we citizens, that we can only appeal to citizens that way they get this opportunity for they'll be, compliant with the rules and regulations in the use of the visas that we issue. Because now the collective actions of people who don't overstay, don't misuse this visa category, don't affect the righteous people who desire for go for do business, students the way you don't get admission for further their education are all affected. It's unfortunate.
Continue to do it quickly as we look at another issue.
The program Good Morning Salon to continue. Inside the program now we go online and get Edmond Abu, we now representative from the Native Consortium. Good morning, Edmond, and welcome to Radio Democracy.
Yeah, good morning, Radio Democracy.
Alright, we understand say you get concerned, we get for do with the issue of fuel. Which in really are you concerned?
Well, not only got the concern, this national board doesn't concern every other Sierra Leone because the markets don't confuse and it affects everybody. Once they have to tell me, brother and Minister Timothy Kabba morning. The thing will not happen now. The fuel price they don't go down. And the price after last week's Sunday, local we don't put in price down to diesel 23, petrol 25. We legitimize the positions, so then my able sell the fuel cheap on a reason. And not a government tell you. And I don't more grab no more money, no more one Sunday morning. Now if I tell the PRT, Leone they can put the price down. Put the price down. When they do later now see, then go now, they go and hold meeting them, they go like complain at parliament, go to Vice President Juliet Jallo, now tell the Vice President, say, hey, Mr. President, this thing, Mr. Vice President, this is not competition. No, allow let the competition work. Now we see them, then count one product worth 45, they tell Guinea, then depot bond. This very man where they go like complain, grand call of Leone. Now then they can say, Mr. Vice President, they can say one cry, you don't allow for let export. So now, what's going to happen now? Now they go down to Chief Minister. Then go to Chief Minister. First, then go to act again to Minister of Finance. They complain when they go with how Aminata and Zala, they invade tax, they smuggle fuel, they make out good fuel, how they pay tax. When they go investigate nothing. Why? Because they get this conspiracy, say, all man for sale like them. All man for sale like them. And we they remind the PRA, say, and this actually they continue to remind us, say, PRA no get no law for let them force any dealer or OMC for sale below the government price. The only law we then get now them powers. Now for let sell above the ceiling. And what for tell President Bill last week Friday, President Bill do something very, very excellent. No go command. When I not pass to this, the Chief Minister said refer them now to President and President Bill because they want pull a statement or that very Black Friday day. They say PRA for pull a statement, but bad one agree. And agree to this statement. That make you see the market all turn it on turn about. all man they sell now, then they begin impersonate that they go first station and say if we not sell 27, we can look on a station. So now make they will tell the PRA say we put this price down. Now here is the price, Usman. 98.1 Fambulem. I did now to today. This is the scorecard. Zara petrol station, petrol and diesel 25. Aminata, petrol and diesel 26. NP, petrol and diesel 27.3. Manado, petrol and diesel 27.3. They don't put her up to 27.3. Leone, we put in price on last week, make false life. Where they make a diesel 23, petrol 25. They say don't put at 27 because the conspiracy not working backfire. So this is the point.
Edmond, waiting are your evidence then towards all lengthening their way you the alleged say?
Which one?
Where you see that it conspire?
Yeah, because the cartel, they don't want to let them sell. You know they observe saying the market confused, the old man confused. People they go by, we don't get past hundreds of calls. People, this fear is so they be the sell and trade. You know, we not say, so they take no journalism, you will not get that money, you will not get that way they for the game called blog that they go proof points. If you not believe, when I go look at the market, almost local they sell now. The local don't stop for sale at 23, 25 from last week, Thursday, Friday. When I go check the market. You understand? So then you don't need evidence for that. Say they go to vice president for them to go first, then they say they go all meeting to chief minister. Chief minister will confirm to now. Now chief minister refer them to president. When president tell them say that all man sell, I want. The only thing let us not sell. So now they put the command say PRA for issue a statement. I for comment the PRA.
Go ahead.
They be don't pull it. They be conspiracy that all man for sell 27. And then go put people there. Then people are going in person. Whether not PRA staff, we don't know. And when I hire the station, if we not sell at 27, we
alright.
You understand? So waiting we they say, let nobody, no government officials, no for force anybody. If me go say me and Timothy they not of course back then. Timothy say they sell 25, me say they sell 26.
Alright, well that's now Edmond Abu, when a representative from Native Consortium Massimilary is concerned about the issue of fear. We will go for a break. When we come, we continue the program. Good morning, Saloon.
So, Mr. Minister, the issue about Sierra Leone presence or status at the United Nations Security Council and that of the African Union very important. When are the state and presence of Saloon are in two important organs there? So,
very well. I mean, some years ago, Sierra Leone had been a point of discussion and deliberation at the UN Security Council, and also in the African Union Peace and Security Council and the ECOWAS Mediation Security Council. Today, with the Synod and Council here, they reciprocate, which have they add and contribute to the maintenance of sub-regional, regional, continental, and global peace and security. We see when we come to the Security Council, after the overwhelming election of June 6, 2023, we start with membership in the non-permanent category on the 1st of January last year. So we don't champion quite a lot of issues in the Security Council. For example, Sierra Leone are chair of the Sanctions Committee, where they work with the UN Security Council for ensure say countries that were vulnerable to conflict or countries that are already in conflict, they not get proliferation of weapons, where go compound and exacerbate the warring situation in them countries. And they, for example, Congo, we don't play a key role in Congo DRC, the sanction, and we don't work with the UN through the African Union. Three members and mechanism will get inside the UN Security Council for ensuring we push African issues. And we, for example, Sierra Leone, under we penship, we be able to push for get a presidential statement for us. We're at the United Nations office now, West Africa. That office is very important with early warning, with reporting to the UN, potential conflict points them and how to find solution to them conflict points in there. And also we contribution to Sudan, for example. We work with the United Kingdom on many occasions for bringing ceasefire about that country there, and many other issues we work on the Russia Ukraine conflict. We don't add with voice. We voted against the aggression of Russia on Ukraine, and in the conflict of the Middle East, for example, we have consistently raised our voice, worked with the UN for ensure say civilians are protected, especially women and children in Gaza. Also, we don't see a near massacre, over 50,000 people. They don't kill them. That is very worrisome. And we are part of the C24. We're at the Committee for Decolonization and Self-Determination. We're on the ad with voice for support, the independence of countries that where they struggle for independence and self-determination. So these are the many things that we don't do in the Security Council. And in the AUPSC, for example, May was when Sierra Leone chaired the African Union Peace and Security Council. So through His Excellency in directives, having therefore direct the embassy in Addis Ababa for come with a high-level mission to Guinea-Conakry for help with the transition of Guinea, which the Guineans they appreciate quite a lot. We're working very hard for maintain good presence in the discourse for global, continental, and sub-regional peace and security.
All right, we understand, say, he left for Salon 6 months on the position of the Security Council. What that next get for take over?
Well, nobody know the takeover. We're not, but Africa get 3 candidates and we always in the non-permanent category of the UN Security Council. Incidentally, we good neighbors, Liberia, being therefore vie into the contest after then see what Israel don't do, and also a country that was in war, we don't come up from war to peace. These are the experiences we want to share as a sub-region to the world. And Liberia, incidentally, for come in on the 1st of January 2026, will be the exit on the 31st. And we get Somalia, we get for Dede, Algeria, and Sierra Leone get for leave. So yes, 6 months we don't left. We're working on many files. And Sierra Leone today is highly respected thanks to President Bio in visionary leadership, where we go to the UN Security Council. That countries of the world, they collaborate very well with we. Sierra Leone presence is very remarkable. For example, countries that would normally would limit their engagement with us at bilateral levels, they participate in that United Nations and they work with Sierra Leone very honestly. United Kingdom, the US, China, Russia, and all the other members that were in the council with the work for promote peace and security. And it puts Sierra Leone in a very pole position in terms of our international connections today in a very difficult world where, that is more multipolar, more transactional. Sierra Leone, they within that world will thrive. It's a difficult world, but we are getting our own share of what the world has to present to countries.
Right. For the ordinary people, for they understand, what's in against the way we don't get as we don't occupy some of the seats then the way just explain.
First and foremost, it defines the moral nature of a country. Don't forget, I remember on the 7th of February 2009, them passed a resolution where we mandate the United Nations for send the largest troop of UN peacekeepers ever seen to this country, where bring peace to a country. So that we get a moral imperative for do the same thing with countries and the women in the UN Security Council been do for we at those very difficult times of a country history. So we get a moral role what they play in the international world. For example, calling for save lives in Gaza, in Ukraine, that's a moral obligation where a state for take. And I believe so we don't do that excellently through the leadership of the president. In terms of direct benefit, one, that's an expression of gratitude for being part of the UN and for people that we can lay their life for peace and democracy. And also, we not only that we've been in the Security Council is about security, but also for economic purposes. Any outside peace and quietness, they get development. And development in a sub-region, development around the continent is beneficial for all of us.
The program Good Morning Salon, they continue inside the program. They start for look at messages, and this one say, what are the core priorities of Sierra Leone foreign policies under President Bio administration?
This one from Mark 10 and New Englandville on the SLAJ story. They say congratulations to the newly elected president of SLAJ, Alhaji Manika Kamara, and his executive on their elections.
This one again say, how does Sierra Leone balance its relationship with Western nation and other global powers?
From Patrick Musa now with Facebook page, Mr. Minister, it's injustice to Sierra Leone for President Trump to restrict Sierra Leone while we have millions of other foreigners in Sierra Leone.
This other one say, what role does Sierra Leone play in regional and international organizations?
Another message again from the same Musa. They ask him, Mr. Minister, please do everything you can for the U.S. government to lift the sanctions. When I got the news, I was saddened because I have gotten my admission in one of the university in the United States, and the university is expecting me in August 20 this year.
And this other one say, Mr. Minister, within the inside the letter, we, the Netherlands government, write to Saloon.
From Tunde Scott now with Facebook pages, I understand the Guineans are about to do a referendum on Yenga. Hope our government is doing a follow-up on that.
The last one I will take from Nat Sheikh and Sumana. I say thanks, Mr. Kabba, for setting the record straight. Indeed, Sierra Leone has made tremendous progress in terms of international relationship.
This last one may serve the take. They say, do America a super world power, but what is the ministry doing again to protect Sierra Leone territory? Over to you, Mr. Minister, for response to the message then.
Thank you very much. The first message says the core priorities of foreign policy. Foreign policy is defined in the Constitution, Section 10C of the Constitution. They say with foreign policy now geared towards regional integration and also protect and promote the interests of a country, the sovereignty and territorial integrity of a country. And in a world that is very much multipolar, very difficult, and everybody don't become very transactional, foreign policy is one that is without exclusion. They discriminate between countries, but they look for deepening bilateral relations with countries that will share the same values, and we could be a win-win for we and them. And they look for opportunities for trade and investment in our country, and also for protect Sierra Leoneans and their interests anywhere and everywhere they are in the world. And so these are basically the fundamental things in the way they drive a foreign policy: respect for international law and also for treaties who they enter into, and for participate in multilateral institutions for the promotion of global peace, security, stability, and development. And the other person talk about how we balance relationship with Western countries. We are not on a scale. We're not the east or west. What we are doing is to promote our own interests as a country, and we are friends to almost all the nations in the world. And we get different levels of engagement. For example, Sierra Leone being a former British colony, we don't get historical ties with Britain, America, and many of the Western countries. We don't come to aid. We don't enjoy their mutual relations here. Will they continue to keep that their relationship? Then somebody talk about Musa. I really commiserate with Musa. We don't get in acceptance. They look forward for go the United States in August for go study, but unfortunately this visa restriction on student visa don't come. Would they do your own level best for ensure say in the next 3 months when they go for do this review, we'll see how we will come on for the the righteous Sierra Leoneans that we want to use them visa for me them go able get them visa for go get the opportunities that they seek for in the United States. And somebody they asked about the content of the letter with the Netherlands, and the content of the letter is a diplomatic note that there is a person in this country where they say them is convicted in the Netherlands on matters of drugs. It's been conveyed to the Attorney General. Government is looking into it, a diplomatic note, and of course we get bilateral relations with them. With respect the note, and what has to be done will be done. Tunde Scott, they talk about Guinea, the whole referendum on Yenga. This is what Tunde Scott does. Guinea will not hold a referendum on Yenga. Guinea, they're about to hold a referendum for political transition. So these are the very few things, and I want to thank Una for the studio and the audience for this beautiful day, and let the week God bless you with peace, security, and prosperity in our country. Today's Scott, Yenga referendum, no. Referendum is on the political transition in Guinea.
So how we self protect to your territory on entry point and all of that stuff?
Yes, effort have been made, and that is why the Guineans are not in Kwendo, because government and responsibility now for protect we country and promote with sovereignty, and that is what government is doing. We'll get Ministry of Internal Affairs, we'll get the police and other security apparatus, the way they do their work. We'll get the army that is ready for external aggression.
Okay, plenty thank you to you. We'll be with studio guest inside this edition of the program. Good morning, Salon Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Timothy Kabba.
Thank you very much, and tell Daddy Wakabot say if whoever is, me namely at Alhaji Panabeg.
Will not have Daddy Wakabot are invisible. Okay, well, that have been the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Timothy Kabba. We will talk on Yenga issue, the U.S. partial ban, and other diplomatic related issue them.